There's a couple of things in the bill that delay funding getting to the locals right away. And hopefully that can either be addressed or they can do something at the state level to get us some money right away. But you won't see a major change until the third year if the voters pass this locally. The legislators that voted on this were concerned that putting a lot of money up front in the system would cause prices to go way up and way out of whack. And they were concerned about that, so they made some provisions to buy down some of the state's debt, MDOT's debt, during the first 2 years, and then the third year we would see what that real amount was going to be towards us. So yeah, it's a longer process, and it's not that it's bad. It's just that it's not going to be right away, and I think the public's going to have a hard time understanding that concept that they voted this increase in, and they're not seeing stuff right on the road right away, especially at the local level. Well, the MDOT debt is high, and this proposal has $800 million going the first year to MDOT's debt, and then the second year $400 million, and that's a good thing. But again, it kind of circumvents the formula out there right now. You know, locals have debt also, whether that is stuff when they borrowed trucks or borrowed money to pay for trucks, or whether that was paying down some of these outstanding liabilities and promises they've had out there. So, we would like to see some of that go to the local level as well as MDOT, because again, local agencies do have debt, and that could be spread around to everybody, and we would see that as a great positive. The voters decide that this is not what they want to do. That puts it right back in the legislators' lap. Marquette County Road Commission will continue to do the best we can with the funds that we currently have, but I can tell you there's a lot of people that aren't satisfied with the services we give them right now, and those services aren't the best they could be, and it's because it's a funding issue. A vote by the people not to increase the funding in this desire is probably really going to make the legislators think what to do next. Do they push ahead with an alternative, or do they say, hey, the voters said no, we're not touching it anymore? So that's a real question I hope we don't have to answer. Agreed. Well, right now we get about $5.5 million in revenue coming from the state. That's the Michigan Transportation Fund. We get about $5.5 million. If you take a look at that, we got about $5.5 million in 1997. Things have doubled, or 2.5 times as much. And so if we were to try to do the same things that we were doing in 1997, we need about $11 million to do the same things. Now we have made ourselves more efficient, and we've made ourselves a little bit lean on the employee side. So, we are trying to do the best with what we've got, but it's still a big mountain that we have to climb out there. If we are going to get what they're talking about, we get about $4 million in additional revenue. That's going to be a significant increase to what we currently have, but it's still going to have some people questioning, why aren't you doing this, Road Commission? And simply it's going to be because there's not enough money to catch up to what we have left, for the last 10, 11 years. Back in the early 70s, the Road Commission was paving 30 to 40 miles of road a year. Right now we're lucky to get the 10 miles of road a year. And if you just paint a mile of road black, put about 1.5 inches of blacktop on it, that cost is around $100,000 to $150,000 without doing anything else to it, but just put about 1.5 inches of blacktop on. So 10 miles is $1 million, 20 miles is $2 million. Yeah. We need to be doing 20 to 30 miles just to stay even with what we used to do in the past. So that's $3 million.
And that's not even repairing it. Right?
That's just painting it black. It's not doing any structural improvements. It's just trying to make the ride smooth for 5, 6, 7 years. And that doesn't count buying trucks and hiring new employees to provide better service, or hiring contractors to providing service. So that kind of puts it in perspective. $4 million sounds a lot, but when a truck is $250,000 and a mile of road's $100,000, it doesn't go very far. Everything is basically doubled to 2.5 times, and that's why our workforce is about half of what it was in 1997. And that's why we employ 26 temporaries here to handle winter for us, is because of that cost. We cannot afford the full-time person 12 months out of the year, but we need to provide the best service we can. What's happened is we've used a lot of our truck fleet, and we have depreciated our truck fleet to help continue the services, especially in the wintertime. We have not gone that far. We've taken a look at it at a staff level. We have not done anything with our board at this point in time. We were kind of waiting to ferret out exactly what the stuff coming from the state is going to be. We're still kind of peeling those layers back, and we're getting information kind of daily on it. And again, if we have we'll kind of share with the voters what our plan would be if this passes. It probably won't be road specific, but it will kind of be, we're going to buy 4 new trucks in the first year, and we're going to do 10 miles of paving and 6 miles of chip seal, that type of thing, to let the voters know how we would spend that money here locally.
You got a lot of road in Marquette County, don't you?
We have a lot that need to be taken care of, and there'll be a lot of people waiting in line to be first, and it's going to be a tough decision of who gets first if we do get the money. The township millages are very important to us, and I've always said that it takes really 3 levels of funding if we want to have a good road system here in Marquette County. The townships, they have millage to handle kind of the subdivisions and the smaller roads inside their particular townships. The county has an opportunity to do a county-wide millage for the whole county. Currently in Marquette County, we do not have one of those. There's the state source of money, and it hasn't changed since 1997. So again, that state source has been almost 20 years at the same rate. And then our federal funds. So to have a good road system here in Marquette County, we really need all 4 of those components working. And right now, all 4 of them aren't working, and that's some of the disrepair you see in our system today. It's been a while since we've talked about a county-wide millage. I believe it's 5 or 6 years since we've done that, and at this point in time, we didn't think it was politically acceptable to do that. Most of the township millages that are floated here in Marquette County are passing, road millages are passing, and so that's a good sign, and that helps us keep those roads on the local level as best as we can.